Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Call of Duty Advanced Warfare Veteran Difficulty video walkthrough. This is Mission 7, it's called Utopia. Once again, you just saw my upgrades. You're going to notice a big edit here as we go directly to the sequence where we get to fire a gun when the iPad fucks off our screen. Is there really any need for that heads-up display to take up that much screen? It's the stupidest thing in the world. The only thing as stupid as that, I think it was Rainbow Six Vegas, I forget which one it was. But when you played split screen with a friend, and there was ever a moment where you had to do something, and it came up on the screen with instructions, it would blind the second player's screen with a big fucking instructional box. It was the dumbest thing ever. And I remember playing that way with Aiden. And every time we had to look under a door, or hack something, or blow a door, it'd be like, you have to blow a door, put on your night vision with this huge box. Now you can't see, good luck. But this is a pretty fun mission. It's also pretty quick, and you're going to notice that the average length of videos on this walkthrough is 6 minutes to 10. That's really short for Call of Duty, and it makes me think that this is probably the shortest one they've ever made. Yet when you play it, because there are so many of the quiet moments, those expositional moments, those pacing moments, it feels really long. But it's not, and because of my editorial scalpel, you're seeing pretty much the game for what it is, and it isn't much. Or so it would seem. But this is funny this here. You have to swim towards the objective and get into the area, but if you even hesitate for a moment, you die, because you suffocate. And I suffocated because I was too busy watching something that was on my PC while I was recording on my first run here. Which happens quite a lot. Like, you know those bits in the cutscenes where you have to do quick time events or you die? I died to more of those on recording this guide than I did actual gameplay. Because when I record, I have to have something happening at the same time. I'm kind of weird like that. I've got to the point where, you know, games aren't enough. I need something more. I just need that belt around the bicep and to find that vein, and you know, the dragon just comes in the form of other people's playthroughs, walkthroughs, you know, streams, that kind of thing. Oh, I have a hilarious clip as well at the end of this level that I'm going to be sharing with you, where I tried to boost ahead of Ilona, this lady here, but because the game doesn't want me to ruin the scripting or some bullshit like that, there's a massive clipping box that cock blocks my boost, and I get no forward momentum at all and fall through a tiny gap and die. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But this is actually worth talking about. We're going to be moving through these houses at a clip, and we're going to be doing so to push checkpoints and rush checkpoints. And if you do it well, you'll not die too much. If you get unlucky, you'll die a lot. It's very similar to the favelas in Modern Warfare 2, where there are enemies all around you, and if you push through it too quickly, they spawn on you. And of course, things that spawn on you kill you very quickly in these games. So you need to be always aware of where the checkpoints are and how they work. And one of the great things about this game is the way that it does checkpoint. It checkpoints on the frame the checkpoint happens, and I really appreciate that, because as an editor, it means that linking things together, you can make it almost entirely seamless. Sometimes it's not, because lighting is different, and there's a few other things that can have variables to them. But generally, about 7 times out of 10, I can perfectly link the footage if I pay enough attention, or if I'm trying enough. And of course, you don't have to try too much when you're editing on projects on YouTube, but I take a lot of pride in making videos, so for the most I'm going to try if I can. Obviously there will always be moments where I miss something. I'm not perfect, I'm just one man who does everything. But for the most, I'll always try my best to get something looking nice. Don't get me wrong, folks. I don't dislike fireworks. I actually love fireworks. I think they're awesome. However, I dislike them when I'm trying to fucking work, and I want to have good audio quality. And right now, apparently, it's the end of the world. The rapture is happening, and everybody's celebrating it with fireworks as they piss their wallets up the wall, because fireworks are actually quite expensive. And yeah, just a lot of fireworks happening, so if you hear some oh god, grenades. One of the things that really bugs me about the boost on this game is you can't forward boost. I wish there was a way to, but the closest you can is to do a very low hop and a boost cancel of your hop. Ooh, this is an AST. So you can get really lucky with this guy and get him to just freeze and clip on things and punch stuff, but it doesn't work all the time. Grenades work wonders, EMPs kind of stun them a little bit. If you've got instinct, you can loop them. Instinct, run up to them, get them to punch, back up, get them to punch, back up, get them to punch, back up, and just keep doing that. And you can be shooting them in the face the entire time they're doing it, and they'll die quite quick. However, he will kill you in seconds if you don't, you know, do something smart or if you get unlucky. And there you go, we've just got the most interesting part of this game, which is the grapple hook. It's took us 7 missions to get this. There are 15 in this game, I think, so it's roughly about halfway through the game before you get this accessory. This one tool, this one innovation, which is not really much of one. Watch this. So, I were experimenting with the boat on this level, and you do not get any kind of iframes or any instant dive, or the moment you start diving, you aren't infallible. You have to prematurely dive or you hit things, and that's what happens. And on my first playthrough, I was diving with a lot of time in advance, and I did not hit a single thing. But as I tried to, you know, time it a bit more like Bayonetta and get me some witch time, I kept hitting things. So, yeah, you want to be careful with that. Whenever it says missile lock, just immediately dive. You'll dodge them every single time, they should never hit you. The only time I've died on this sequence is when we're inside. You go past this open skylight, this oculus in the ceiling, and for some reason you can just instantly die. I don't know if it's a chopper, I don't know if it's a swarm, I don't know what it is, but it's bullshit's what it is. And it sometimes doesn't happen, sometimes it does, and it's one of those things where I will no doubt get a comment on this video if they haven't listened this far, where they go, "Oh, I died immediately there, this is not on veteran." It's like, well, it doesn't really have to be on veteran to die immediately there, because it's one of those random bullshit things. So you'll notice I dived as I got to that one to try and stop it from doing whatever it is that it does. And then when you get to this point, you can also die as well if you're unlucky, because you do take damage as you hit this. And if you take damage and you're at a threshold where that damage you take is enough to kill you, you will die during this animation. So it'll get to this point and you'll not climb out, it'll just fail you and restart you. That happened to me on my first playthrough. But the grappling hook that we've received, they could have designed this entire game around it. They could have designed flank routes, they could have designed roofs, they could have designed, you know, multiple egresses to get where you need to be. They could have made the battlefield dynamic, and it would have worked a lot like the multiplayer on this game, where people are coming from all directions, and it could have been super awesome, because look at it! You have a Batman grapple in a first-person shooter, and it's awesome, and it's a cool idea, and it's completely underused, and it's really sad. So the gun I'm using here is the BAL. It's the most overpowered thing in the game. It's got hardly any recoil, it kills really quickly, it is delicious, and there's a spawn about to happen, and I'm going to bang them all as they land. Like, look at this gun. I'm telling you now, folks, I haven't been keeping up on other people's Call of Duty videos, but I bet you right now people are bitching about this gun. It's too good. It's way too good, and that's against the AIs. Just imagine what it's like about humans. While everybody's running around trying to quickscope, and there's those dudes using the shotguns trying to do what shotguns do best, which is not work in these games. And this is another idea, the magnetic climbing. If it wasn't so scripted so heavily all the time, it'd be really cool, because it'd enable you to do unorthodox things. And just imagine the mobility you could do on this game with the boosting, with the magnetized stuff, with the grappling hook. You could literally be like Superman with a gun, and it could be really good. But instead, we've got all these fancy new ideas that aren't really new, they're just borrowed, and everything still revolves around chest-high walls and shooting and regenning, and I don't know, like, it isn't bad, that's the thing. You know, this is fun. It's really fun. Call of Duty controls fantastically. The only thing that bugs me to death, and will always bug me to death, is that it clips like a motherfucker, and it shouldn't. There's too much money in it now. They should make every motion buttery smooth. Every single object should be perfectly modelled to its visual representation on screen, and you should never get stuck. There's no reason for it anymore. They've been making it for too long now. You shouldn't get stuck. It's trash. But they're so committed to this notion that they've got this perfect formula that nothing is wrong, so nothing gets fixed. So everybody's complaining about clipping, and then they're all just like, well, it sold 200 bajillion units, it's the most popular thing since Ebola. Which, I'm not even going to give that joke the time of day. What is with this nonsense? Everybody's saying it like it's something. Like, come on, guys. Last time it was bird flu, and we didn't even use it that much. Come on, it's not that funny. But this is the end of the mission. Another short one. You might see some upgrading at the end. I don't think you will. It'll probably be in the next one if you do. I've pretty much got all the abilities I'm going to need to beat this game. I get all the ones on the right and then I'm kind of done. And then the left-hand side, I'll get some grenades, but they're not necessary. You know, I could have done this without any upgrades. The only one that would have bugged me would have been the flinch, because it's just stupid. It's like you've got a dog collar on, and they just do a little electric shock every time you get shot. Which is one of the things I dislike about this game. When you get shot, it sounds like somebody's hitting you with a hoover. It's weird. Oh, there's some upgrading. Who knew? So what we're going to do? Grenades? Nope, we're going to do recoil. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and you take care now.